Falcao. Tip won by Syracuse, no problem for Izoje. The orange lineups for the orange today. Dominique Darius dribbling the ball. She goes absolutely nowhere, and it's UAlbany ball.
Early on, Syracuse showing the full court press.
Starting lineup for UAlbany: Martina Barreas, Delaney Hill, the only returning starter from last year. Julia Falcao again. Burrows on the defensive end. Felia dives for it. Kept in bounds. Their team and play your game earlier today. Here's Nelson. Knifes underneath. No good. High only averaged 2 points per game last season with the Great Danes. Paloma Vincente. Falcao. Guarded by Uche. Up and under and off the glass and in. And from Falcao, she's been everywhere on both ends of the court. In the corner. Out to the corner. Barreas a three. Can't hit. Only 4 points last time out for Sophie Burrows. The freshman Nelson. Game with the orange. Nelson, three-pointer on the way. No good. The orange still
Both sides pivotal in this contest.
Down low, Uche can't finish. Levasseur up top. Hill, a three-pointer. Still no good. And they're already pressuring the Cuse. On-ball defense from Lara Longerman. Darius up, gets fouled. Per game last year at USC. Strings the first free throw. Second free throw is up and good, and the orange have tied.
Here is good.
Longerman up top, knocked away by Darius. Darius up against Longerman off the glass.
A top 26 recruit out of high school, and head coach Jack just kept saying, you gotta believe in her, you gotta believe.
Out there on the court right now for UAlbany, just 5'7". Stewart inside, gets collegiate game. She's got two. Uche right back at Stewart. That's a bucket. Longerman cuts through. Stewart, long mid-range. Fresh faces, pulls in the rebound with Uche Izoje. Darius to the cup and one. Third school for Dominique Darius. Three-point play can't go. So the orange. Nelson with tough defense from the freshman. Darius, tight defense, poked away. On the floor, time expires. Every team the same. It's Dominique Darius to restart. Darius going straight at her defender, but knocked her down. Here's Stewart. Vincente gets the screen. Two off the back. Burrows in transition, wide open. No good.
Those are the shots that need to fall.
Stewart working on Thompson. Way off Hawkins. No good on the layup. The orange struggling to finish at the rim, and a foul on that end. Falcao. Good positioning by Stewart. Good closeout. Only returning starter for the Great Danes from a season ago. Hawkins to the cup. Too easy.
At the three-point line. Like a gazelle all the way.
Falcao tipped away. It's Layla Felia. No one in front of her. Felia. Too easy.
So if you don't think she's important, you're crazy.
Burrows is steal. Up to chance to capitalize now out of the half-court set. Burrows and Barreas steps through the lane, knocked away Longerman. Ball on the ground. Felia rips it right back. Hawkins 0 for 3 today. Went 1 for 12 in the opener. Talk a long way back behind the basket. You're shooting really at a standalone hoop. Barreas to the rim, and Perkins steps inside the arc. Rims out. Burrows so aggressive on the offensive.
And that's why she's one of 3 captains for the orange.
Errant pass to the corner, and everything going wrong today. Darius back in the game. Uche. Just a little too. 5-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Danes can't go off to Longerman as the second quarter begins. Nothing going early on for UAlbany. It's been that defensive Syracuse. Paloma Vincente still looking for her first points. All the way out to Hill. Face guarded by Velez, has the angle and has a bucket, but waved off. Angelica Velez. And Cameron Nelson, in fact, takes the charge. Velez led her right into Nelson, who stood perfectly still. Boom. Bang, bang play.
Camden Nelson slides over, takes it on the heart. The team defense for the Orange continues to amaze me. My goodness, they've been masterful against UAlbany tonight.
That's why Nelson is starting as a freshman. Here's Izoge. No good. Only 2 points on the board so far for Uche. It's Delaney Hill up top. She's been held off the board and already has 2 fouls. Stewart on Kira Scott, her first action today, and Stewart fouled on the way up. She'll shoot 2.
UAlbany runs the off-ball set, trying to find Longerman open. They do, and then swings it inside to Stewart, and that all starts from the off-ball screens for UAlbany.
The movement of the Great Danes, something they've had year by year. Colleen Mullen has coached this team up well, but now really looking for that lead scorer, and it could be Amaya Stewart. Very smooth on the first free throw. Drew, you've mentioned it. Colleen Mullen talked about how good the footwork is from Amaya Stewart. 3-time All-Pennsylvania in high school from West Reading, PA. Can't get the Danes within 10. A tough rebound for Scott. Here's Hawkins. Jab step, pull up. Justice Fitzgerald on the offensive end. She's fouled going up, and she'll shoot 2.
No surprise there, my goodness.
Coach Jack touted Fitzgerald as the best rebounder on Syracuse.
And this is why. On the miss, gets up, gets big, and immediately goes up. Oftentimes the offensive rebounds, players look for the outlet pass. 9 times out of 10, the right move to immediately go up, because what's going to happen? You either miss, you get fouled, or you make the bucket.
The freshman from Roswell, Georgia, getting her first action today. Had 3 points in the opener against Stony Brook, but the big tally, 5 rebounds in just 11 minutes.
And rebounding's all about heart, grit. Who wants it more? And that's what head coach Jack told us, that Justice just has this X factor about her where she wants every rebound more than the other player.
There are a few taller players on the Syracuse team. Stewart goes right at Fitzgerald and knocks it down. Boy, Amaya Stewart, a diamond in the rough so far this season for UAlbany.
The only offense, period, for UAlbany early on.
Velez gets the screen from Fitzgerald, pulls up on Stewart. Nelson juts for the rebound. She secures it in bounds. Nelson knifes through, can't get the roll. Ball on the ground, and it's scooped up by Longerman. Out pass to Vincente, knocked away by Scott. Race on the floor, Scott scoops it up. Outlet pass to Fitzgerald, and the Orange run the break. Syracuse slows it down to applause from this Orange crowd.
How about the intensity Syracuse is playing with early on? Up 10, doesn't matter. Running up and down the court, keeping the ball alive, and now Syracuse back on the attack.
Velez open for 2. Can't knock it down, and Stewart a tough board. She takes it up the court herself. Levasseur, bounce pass, knocked away from Falcao. She's triple teamed and scoops it away. All the way past Colleen Mullen on the UAlbany bench, who stands there, hands on her hips. Her team has been shell-shocked so far. The Orange holding on to that 10-point lead and rotating subs in and out. Dominique Darius back in the ball game. Darius has a wrap on that right hand.
Interesting to monitor, but it doesn't get any easier like I mentioned it. Layla Filia also in the game for the Orange, and now the stretch guard's out.
Filia has been quiet so far. Just one big defensive play. The Danes had to double. Scott steps into one. No good. Shot clock was expiring. A fresh 30 for the Danes. Martina Barrias to the corner for Levasseur. Bounce pass inside. Fitzgerald read it and keeps it in. Heads up defensive play from Fitzgerald. It's the fellow freshman Nelson on the offensive end. Syracuse still yet to hit a three so far. 0 of 2 from downtown. UAlbany 0 of 6. Nelson clears out. Here's Felia. 6 to shoot. Pull up. No good. Not a lot of luck for the Orange. Can't get good rolls. Levasseur. The true freshman from Quebec. Falcao. Turning, spinning. Fitzgerald just too tough on defense. Scott runs the break for the Orange. Spin move, throws up a shot. Stewart got a hand to it and kept it in. A block for Amaya Stewart. Had 4 last game against Marist and an early one here. The Orange defense has UAlbany in a stranglehold right now. Just 3 of 14 early on. Falcao picks up her dribble, nowhere to go. Way off balance and way off the mark.
When you're forcing one step, foot through shots, that's when you know you're good.
Darius for 3, you bet! Dominique Darius breaks the Orange 3-point drought and brings SU up to 20 points.
How sweet was that? Steps into it. Syracuse gonna need a lot more of that as the season progresses, and it's a nice start for Darius, who's been the best player on the court thus far.
That was the Orange's first field goal make since the end of the first quarter. UAlbany also struggling in the second. Amaya Stewart just forces a shot. Nowhere close. Darius heads up to the corner. Layla Felia can't get it to go. Closeout defense was coming, maybe rushed the shot a little bit. The Orange still with a comfy lead. Drew, we saw this last year though with Syracuse and UAlbany. It was an early Syracuse lead, but that slowly slipped away.
And it slipped away because Syracuse let it slip away. Here the intensity stays the same, especially on the defensive side.
To the corner, Vincente, no good. Nelson, last touched by Syracuse.
To keep her curls, how about that?
Wow, I would be pretty upset, win 400, but now my curls are gone. That'd be a shame. Vincente, Levasseur has just 3 to shoot. The Orange hounding defense continues. Prayer unanswered, but a foul. Rather, before that, the shot clock went off. It was a collision on the defensive end, but directly before that, the scoreboard lit up. Bright red, and the Orange force another turnover.
Yep, that ball off the backboard doesn't touch the rim.
Shot clock didn't reset. Felia fouled on the way up. She's been drawing double teams everywhere. Behind the arc, cutting to the paint. They have to look out for Layla Felia, and there's a good reason why. Just 2 years ago, she was all Big Ten first team at Michigan before making the transfer to Texas. Then suffered a detached retina when she was at Texas, so she only played 8 games and got a stylish pair of goggles now that she's here. And those goggles aren't just any goggles. Coach Jack says not everybody can pull off goggles very well. So what they did was they got some from the Atlanta Dream. They have some players who have goggles, an odd number of them as well. And so they asked, where do you get these goggles? All right, let's order them in bulk. She pulled them in, and she says not everybody pulls off these goggles like Layla Felia.
And they made that switch to the Dream goggles after the ones she was using over the summer kept fogging up. She complained about it, and they made the switch.
So Felia with the goggles for the first time this year after suffering the injury last year. Ball knocked off the ref and kept in bounds. UAlbany nearly turned it over. Wide open 3, Barrias, go bank.
Stuff like that has to fall for UAlbany to climb back into this contest.
Darius off the window, but fouled. No good. She'll head to the line to shoot 2 more. Dominique Darius has been on fire. Already 9 points in this one. Syracuse in total has 12 more outside of her.
I don't put it lightly when I say this. Layla Filia and Dominique Darius, pretty much every possession could slash their way to the cup and either get fouled or get a bucket. That's how athletic both guards are.
Such a dynamic guard duo. First free throw rattles home, and you take a look at the wrist of Dominique Darius as well. A wrap on that right hand, did not have it entering the game. Was taken out in the first quarter, put that wrap on, came back in, and since then nothing has slowed down. Darius with those 2 free throws up to 11 points. Levasseur to Stewart. Fitzgerald remains in the game to guard. First touch from the freshman Emma Zuccone. Stewart down low. Levasseur a 3. Didn't call bank that time. Could not get it to go. And ball knocked out of bounds before it could be saved by Boreas. It's orange ball.
UAlbany just feels a little bit uncomfortable. Levasseur, a good 3-point shooter, and that was nowhere near close.
She's played in some big-time environments up north. From Quebec, played for Kira Nurse's team. WNBA All-Star. Here's Burrows off the back iron again. Filia chases it down. Filia and Darius communicating. The 2-star transfers.
The double screen comes. She denies it.
Filia takes it herself, stripped away. Ball on the ground, Fitzgerald jumps on it, jump ball. Possession arrow for Syracuse, and the Orange retain it. Nice tip on the step through. It was Martina Boreas who got a hand to it, as well as Amaya Stewart. They both knocked it out of the hands of a cutting Layla Filia. So far, just 3 points for Filia. 1 of 2 from the line. Burrows gets open off the screen. Takes it to the rim, and it's knocked away. Falcao on the block. Hill goes right into Filia. Takes it to her. Shot nowhere close. About 5 feet from the rim. Just had to force something up. Delaney Hill got the angle. Layla Filia just too strong inside. It's a matchup today that might not go UAlbany's way because of the length of some of these Syracuse players. Cam Nelson checks out. In her place, Shy Hawkins comes in. Only 2 minutes left for UAlbany to try to add to its total. Last touch by Darius and out of bounds. She tried to plead her case to the official, saying that was last tipped out of bounds by UAlbany. If she had touched it in the backcourt, could have been an over and back, but she claims she didn't touch it anyway. Regardless, it's Great Dane's ball. Floated up to Stewart, threw her hands into Fitzgerald. Takes it right at her, fouled on the way. Herself into trouble. Fitzgerald shooting 2 from the line. Gets the lucky roll that time. The freshman from Georgia has made a pretty instant impact. 2 for 2 that time from the stripe. 15-point Syracuse lead. Drew, it has not gone UAlbany's way on the offensive end.
Not at all. Defensively, they've been just fine. Offensively, I would almost say it's more Syracuse forcing the issue, pressing, even when they're on defense. The Orange are saying, we're going to get up into your grill, and UAlbany can't take it right now.
It's an impressive defensive performance. Sophie Burrows tipping it away. Still a double team on Hill. Ball rolls out of bounds. It's orange ball. Only 2 seconds left on the shot clock, so it was probably going to be Syracuse ball regardless. Everything going wrong for the Great Danes.
Nothing is open. I'm not kidding. Their best shot right now might just be a behind the back heave from 3-point land because nothing is open from the Syracuse stifling defense.
14 first half turnovers from UAlbany. Burrows knifes in. Darius outside. Spins through. And rolls it in. Dominique Darius put on a show. Already 13 first half points. She's outscoring UAlbany by herself. Shot clock and game clock separated by 8 seconds. It's Vincente. If Albany can't score, they go to the half with only 10. Another turnover. 15 for the Orange. Hawkins up the other way. Swatted out of the hands, and back the other way goes Vincente. In a first half since 2016 against Coppin State, when the Eagles only scored 7 in that one. Falcao, inlet pass, and finally, Martina Boreas knocks one down. Good find from Falcao. Burrows directing traffic. Sophie Burrows 0 for 6 today. Only 4 points in her first 3 halves of basketball this season. Ball on the ground, stripped away from Uche, wins it back and off the glass. Give me that and put it in.
Head coach Jack is all smiles. She took that like a kid in the candy store and puts it right back up.
Ripped it away, so physical. Has such a bubbly personality. Up to the rim, what a move. Boreas fakes the bounce pass, and she has it right inside. An easy lane to the hoop. Already back-to-back buckets for UAlbany, and Nelson steps on the line. It's a turnover for the Orange. The Great Danes coming out of the locker room fast, and Colleen Mullen maybe softening the look a little bit from the sternness of the first half. She was not happy at times. Drew, she really showed it too.
Trying to insert some fire into her team, especially on the offensive end, and early on, already 4 points here in the third quarter.
Darius checks out early in the second half. It's Angelica Velez in now. Falcao. Bit of a point forward here for the senior from Portugal. She gets it back. Uche with the tight defense. One-on-one, isolation. Prayer gets put up and no answer. Shot clock violation. The horn does not sound. But as soon as that ball hit the ground, that timer hits 0. Regardless, it's a turnover for the Great Danes. A fresh 30 put on the shot clock. That was lead official Mark Resch who blew his whistle to get that shot clock to reset back up to 30.
UAlbany trying to gain some momentum with the full court press.
Burrows met, gets it up to Nelson. She's got options. Inside to Uche, easy finish. That's the risk you run when you play the press, and Nelson breaks it beautifully, combines with Uche. And as that play came to a head, Falcao went down. She's back up and jogging off the court.
And there's a reason why full court presses oftentimes are used towards the end of games when you're trying to fight and get back into it. It's almost like leaving the net open in hockey. You're almost succeeding the fact that, look, if they break the half-court press, much easier offensively to score a bucket. But at this point, I mean, down 17 points, you got to do what you got to do.
Just trying to force defensive mistakes on Syracuse and get your team going. That will not help. Another turnover for UAlbany. 16 so far. And we're only 2 minutes into the third quarter. The Orange nearly turn it over again. Heads up defensive play by Vincente to cut in front and tip it out of bounds. She had 95 steals in just 63 games at Evansville. She's been all over the third school for Julia Paloma Vincente. Orange break the full court press. It's Uche the other way. Long arms. That layup and can't get it to fall. Burrows on the offensive glass is fouled. Foul on the floor. Goes against Vicente. Nelson to inbound. Lobs it up for Uche. Backing down her defender. Spins off the glass and in. Uche. Oh, so smooth on the offensive end.
So lengthy, great touch. She can do it all within 10 feet. Pre-game, she almost dunked Hudson.
She did. Coach Felicia Leggett-Jack says she can dunk. And it's her attitude that she loves. Zoje in on that play as well, tips it away, and another Albany turnover. Running the floor hard. Velez up to Izoje. In on the inside, rolls it home. Uche Izoje is taking this one over. Back-to-back buckets for the freshman from Nigeria. Grew up there, went to Japan where she played 3 years of professional basketball. English is her third language behind Igbo and Japanese. Offensive roll on the end from Martina Barreas. She quietly has 4 points to open up this third quarter. Uche again, feed the hot hand. The double comes. Felia thought about it. Spinning, turning, no good. Uche straight into her hands. Offensive glass and in. 6 straight for Izoje.
What can she do? She's like a bowling ball. Once you get it moving, you can't stop it. And Uche Izoje putting the hammer down against the Great Danes here in the third quarter.
6 straight to get her up to 12 points, 6 of 10 from the field. She has really dedicated her life to being better at basketball. Knocked away by Hill. Burrows the other way. She gets her first points. 20 turnovers for UAlbany.
That's a tough finish for Sophie Burrows as well. Takes it all the way to the cup and finish.
Timeout, Colleen Mullen. She is furious. The Orange in control, 30 here at Syracuse. She's been a big part of the reason why the Orange are off to an early start. Coach Jack has said so many good things about Uche, especially considering she said she hasn't seen her mom in 8 years. Late into the possession for Albany, a tipped volleyball shot. It won't matter. The shot clock expired, and we talked about it. Coach Jack had said Uche Izoje hadn't seen her mom in 8 years up to this point, has fully dedicated herself, but they've warmed her into the program so far, and she says it's very easy to do. Not only is she a Paige Beckers level talent, that is what Coach Jack called her, but also had plenty to say about how nice her character is. Here's Nelson for 3. Back rim. UAlbany can't secure it. It's Orange ball. Wow. Just a miscommunication on the rebounding side, Drew. Nobody had that.
Yeah, you almost have to call it like a fly ball in baseball. Mine, but there's no center fielder to give way towards, and it rolls off of a heel and out of play.
Yeah, who has right of way?
Nobody, I guess.
It's inbounded to Thompson. Velez up top to Nelson. Here's Velez. Thompson, in deep, pushes her way through, and she's fouled on the way up. Stewart grabbed her wrist as she went to put it in, and the Orange have a chance to hit 2 more on the other side of this. It's 39-16 Orange, and the lead keeps growing.
The players that left, they still got to go on that trip. So it was almost a bridge between last year's squad that won the regular season AEC, and then also this year's team could kind of bring it back and forth. And Emma Zuccone from Italy, how about that? She also made the trip.
From nearby Venice, nearby to Italy. Pair of free throws in from Journey Thompson, extends the Orange lead, and Zuccone actually got to play in front of her parents this summer as well. That's awfully special for some of these international players where you're far away from home,
yeah.
And UAlbany has plenty. 8 international players out of 12 rostered players. Hill, one of the only few ones, bounces it into Zuccone. Double team comes, Velez rips it away. The Orange have a 4-on-2. Up to Thompson, cuts inside, loses the handle to Hawkins. And the Orange slow it down. Darius to Thompson. Hawkins has the height mismatch, spins through, wild shot. Was knocked on the way up, ball out of bounds, last touch by Syracuse. Off of Shy Hawkins after the shot.
A little out of control there. You gotta keep your pivot foot when you drive inside. You're spinning all around, you almost find it. Crucial, you flip it up off the backboard. But if she just took her time down in the paint, she maybe could go up on the second try there. A little out of control from Shy.
Ball ripped away by Darius. Another turnover, another steal. Leaves it off for Thompson and one. Dominique Darius orchestrating a choir. And Thompson, a major part of it. A chance for an three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Darius, the steal, takes it the other way. And instead of going up with it, finds her teammate Thompson. How smooth is that? Almost goes behind the back with it. Thompson up and off the glass.
Another free throw for Thompson. She rattles it home. 5 straight points for Journey Thompson.
And the thing I love the most about that, Dominique Darius was so much more excited that Journey Thompson made that bucket than when she's had her double-digit points today.
Bella Stewart a three, her first shot today into the waiting hands of Angelica Velez. Darius, one-on-one. Decides to go to Velez. Inside, off the hands of Fitzgerald and out of bounds. Can't rein in the pass. Angelica Velez looks a lot more comfortable in the offense this year than in year one with the Orange. She's really settling in. Transfer from LSU, where a few years ago she played behind Haley Van Lith and Flau'jae Johnson. A really big pair of players to play behind.
We haven't talked about her a lot, but you're right, Hudson. Cool, calm, collected, kind of fulfills that true point guard role this team doesn't have.
Longerman a three, back iron. Tries to chase down her own miss. Ends up with Velez. Fitzgerald up ahead. Runs into Hill. Charge call.
Too much there. Almost tries to stop her momentum, but it's too late. And Delaney Hill with a nice play.
UAlbany still struggling on the offensive end. No points in the last 4 minutes now. In that stretch, they've had 5 turnovers. Falcao. Ring around the rosy. Orange defenders all around her. Kicks it outside. It's Hill. In deep, Falcao can't handle it. And Scott has it. Darius. Up to Hawkins. Slices through. Hawkins at the rim and finishes strong. She had a team-high 13 points last time out. Averaged only 4 last season. Berreyes, the sophomore from Barcelona, Spain. Part of the AEC All-Rookie team last year. Snakes through, swatted away, but fouled. Went right into the hand of Jasmine Cooper. Kira Scott in there as well. The first action today for Jasmine Cooper, and it's a foul.
Tries to slither through the defense there. Draws the contact, and now she heads to the line. Not the best free throw shooter in the world. Last year, shot just 19%. This year she comes in 1-2, 1-4-2 rather.
Pushes her percentage up to 20% over these 2 years. Better three-point shooter percentage-wise. Maddie Potts checks into the game for the first time today, the sophomore from Australia. One of the Orange's three-point specialists. 2 shots here for Berreyes. Back iron on the first. She's one of 2 players from Spain. Both her and Julia Paloma Vincente from the Catalan region. 8 international players on this team. Ball rattles out, rebounded by Scott.
They probably enjoyed that Italy trip more than most.
I would imagine. Players from Canada, Germany, Iceland, Portugal, and Italy, as well as Spain.
My goodness, you're naming the entire continent of Europe there.
Drew, do you think you could point out all of those on a map? I would hope so.
I bet I could. I lived in Switzerland for 6 years, so
true.
I'm doing all right.
You would hope so. foul as Velez tries to cut through the lane. It goes against Delaney Hill. She already has 3 today. And Hill has still been kept off the board, this team's leading scorer.
She was the X factor coming into it, and she remains the X factor, just the other way. Syracuse has shut her down.
Velez thought about it, now pulls up. In. Angelica Velez from mid-range. UAlbany wasting no time getting back down the court the other way. Bella Stewart, the New Hampshire transfer, played against UAlbany last year. Stewart had 15 points against the Great Danes. That was a career high. Stewart inside being hounded. Out to the other Stewart. Cuts through. He's still no good. Rebound batted into the hands of Potts. Picks up her dribble. Outside for Velez. Cooper sets his screen, but can't stop Hill. Velez. You bet. Angelica Velez gets a matchup that she wants and goes to work. Known for her distributing, but she's creating her own shot tonight.
Smooth as butter, Velez pulls up in the face of her defender.
UAlbany 6 points this quarter. Ball knocked away by Velez into the hands of Kira Scott. That's turnover number 24. Velez to the hoop. Another one. Angelica Velez. Have a day.
You betcha. Velez, 3 straight buckets, the steal, the distributor. What can't she do?
Stewart with time expiring, she's fouled. Cooper and Scott combined to knock Stewart off her block.
Angelica Velez, my goodness, spent her freshman year over at LSU, didn't play much, but made the Elite 8, knows what it feels like to win, trying to insert some of that into this Orange squad.
Only 1 second to get the shot off. They do, and it counts. At the horn, Boreas gives a little bit of life to UAlbany.
On their hands a lot, and that's what happens, but Syracuse has forced the issue, pressed up against her, and she hasn't been able to take it much right now.
Hill has 6 total turnovers. Syracuse as a whole, just 9. Akimba Walla, her first action today, to Cooper. Back to the basket, Cooper. Wow, tough bucket for the freshman. Jasmine Cooper. Coach Jack's biggest recruit in her 4 years here at SU steps up on the offensive end, and the Orange lead only grows.
Ranked as a top 60 player from ESPN's rankings. The highest recruit, like you mentioned it, since Camila Cardoza and Priscilla Williams all the way back in 2020. So it's been quite a bit.
And when you're with Camila Cardoza in the same sentence,
that's not a bad place to be.
That's pretty good. That is pretty good.
Not bad at all.
Cardozo, of course, with the Sky right now after a few years with South Carolina, becoming one of the nation's best players. Another UAlbany turnover on an errant pass. Make that 25 for the Great Danes.
A snowball effect. Rolling down the hill, and the turnovers only continue to grow.
Of all the Orange available healthy players today, every single one has gotten into the game.
And doesn't that just talk to how deep this team is? I mean, up and down the roster, really no liabilities.
None.
And each player has a different skill set that head coach Felicia Legette-Jack can lean on, can use. Maddie Potts in the game right now. If you need a big 3, maybe you bring in Maddie Potts. If you need some stretch defense, Dominique Darius.
Coach Jack talking things over with lead official Mark Resch right now after the stoppage, and the Orange had to reset. Potts into Velez. Kinbawala, the transfer from Auburn, getting her first run in the 4th quarter today. She's got a back to the basket opportunity, but can't control the ball. It rolls out of bounds. The 10th turnover today for the Orange. Akinbawala making the move in the offseason, one of 4 transfers that Syracuse brought in.
the Auburn transfer. She was actually on the bike next to, as this is a tie-up on the floor.
Orange with the possession. Angelica Velez helped to her feet, as it was a foul after the Orange ended up with the ball. The possession arrow was with the Danes, but that foul gives the ball to Syracuse.
I was gonna say, it seemed like Akinbulawa was working through something on the sidelines earlier in the game in the first half. Of course, not playing up until here in the fourth, but seemingly worked it out. This is a player that started in 14 of 29 games for Auburn, which is an SEC team in 2024 and 2025.
And a solid one at that. Scott down low to Akinbulawa. Charge called. A little too much physicality down low. Akinbulawa had a big-time size mismatch on Vincente, but knocked her to the ground, and it's Great Dane ball.
Akinbulawa didn't do a lot to warrant that, but sometimes as the smaller player, you just fall down, you get the call, and nothing fires up a coach more. And that's a nice shot there. Nothing fires up a coach more than taking a charge.
Falcao on the offensive end for the Great Danes. She's a senior from Portugal. Her brother is in the crowd tonight as well. She said that's why she's fired up to play against the Orange here today. A few UAlbany players feel the same. Velez, another one. Angelica Velez has been so smooth. 8 points for her. All of them coming effectively in the mid-range.
Bringing out the bag work, a hezzy cross pull-up. How about it?
Whew. She is special. Deep three from Hill, finally on the board for Delaney Hill.
That was time. She was due. A ticking time bomb and finally hits the three. Maybe a little bit too late, though, here for the Great Danes.
Hill had played a majority of this game for UAlbany. Velez again trying the hot hand. Ball last touched by Bella Stewart, out of bounds on the Great Danes. And it's Syracuse possession.
That's what you call a good old-fashioned heat check, Hudson. Sometimes when you make a few, you get a little too fancy, chuck it up. That one almost went in, though, so.
Just go with a hot hand. UAlbany making a few changes here. Boreas checks in again, as well as the first action today from Emma Haukendottir. Sophomore guard from Iceland. Just a town of 2,000 people. Thor Lokshafen pops for a three. Off the back iron, and Boreas has it. Leaves off. Hill another three. No good. Scott charges through. Last touch by her and out of bounds. Kira Scott has been everywhere on the defensive end. Really has not gotten the offensive shine today. No points for her. But the rebounding and jumping of passing lanes has been impressive. 4 rebounds, 2 steals for her.
And she has an SU lineage. Her dad, George Scott, was a running back for SU back in the day.
Boreas on the bucket that time. Albany starting to chip away. Still a massive Syracuse lead, a 31-point gap. The Orange won their first game on Tuesday over Stony Brook by 24 points. But that one was much closer than this one. Potts freezes her defender. Outside Velez, heat check, no good. Last touch by Albany, out of bounds.
Great play there by Maddie Potts, swinging it out to Velez. Can't hit the trifecta, but that's what happens when you're a dangerous three-point shooter. The defense closes out, and you find another hot hand.
Inbounded to Cooper, wide open three, you bet! Tack on three for Jasmine Cooper. The freshman is feeling it in the fourth. A wide gap yet again for Syracuse. This time it's the offense that has come alive. Corner shot, it rattles home. Delaney Hill gets it to go, and she's heating up in the fourth. Velez back the other way, fouled on the way up. She'll shoot 2.
Velez looks like the best player out on the court as Delaney Hill starts to get heated up a little bit, but man, these Syracuse players, top to bottom, can straight out ball, and Angelica Velez right now at the top of that list.
They certainly can. Just last game, they earned Coach Jack her 400th career win, her 4th stop on the coaching trail. First free throw from Velez. Coach Jack started at Hofstra before stops at Indiana and Buffalo. One of her first players at Hofstra ended up being the wife of Colleen Mullen, the head coach of UAlbany. An incredible connection there. Lauren Hall Gregory was one of the first players that Coach Jack had, now married to Coach Mullen. And Coach Jack said if she didn't shoot, this is about Hall Gregory, if she didn't shoot, I would sub her out of the game. Wow. A scrappy player who I wanted to play.
Yeah, and she also said that her wife, well, not the wife at the time, but back in the day, she was in shape because head coach Jack in her first year made sure she was.
Coach Jack is self-described tough to play for. Kinbawala picks up the foul as Boreas charged in. Another foul on Kinbawala, that's number 2.
Drives inside of Kinbawala, a little late to the help defense, slides over, catches her on her hip. And yep, that's a foul every day of the week and twice on Sundays.
Kinbawala did not play much in the opener against Stony Brook, the reason being the pace of the game. Boreas at the charity stripe. She has a team high 13 points tonight. Make it 14.
And for all you Cuse fans, that should only get better as the season progresses. A lot of times players, rightfully or not, kind of play themselves into shape as the season progresses, especially in the NBA, WNBA, etc. But Kinbawala, if she can really get going for this Cuse, she could be maybe the final touch to a super solid squad.
Listed as 6'5", that size could certainly come in handy. Down low for Uche. Foul on Stewart, who is guarding her. Uche comes back into the game for the first time this quarter.
Uche is listed at 6'3", standing next to a Kinbawala. She looks 6'5".
Certainly. It's her length and athleticism, too, that's really impressive. We said it earlier. Coach Jack has compared her to a Paige Beckers level talent. That's high praise. Beckers was just the first overall pick in the last WNBA draft after a storied career at Connecticut. Pots the step through and a charge. Another one drawn by the Great Danes, this time Paloma Vincente.
Couple of fancy moves, Potts, laser right forearm, and yep, once again, a charge in the purple shirts. Head coach Colleen Mullen coaching it into the Great Danes to perfection.
A lot of the coaching from Mullen has come to players who are described to be very cerebral. That's what she likes about her team. A big first game win over Marist, but today it really has not been the case. Hill off the dribble. Now she's heating up and one. Delaney Hill going to the line. Rather, just to shoot one on the and one, and she knocks it home. If you want to buy tickets to any of those games, there's this 888 Dome TIX. That's the number to dial. Potts through the lane. Here's Nelson. The Orange have had a hold on this game from the very first tip. Nelson has to kick to Potts. Just 3 seconds left for Isoge, and it's ripped away. Vincente the other way. Boreas, the leading scorer today for UAlbany. Put up 15 points in this effort. The rest of her team has combined for just 17. Handoff, Vicente. Stewart outside. One-on-one, literally. Inside to Stewart, pulls up and rattles it in. Amaya Stewart up to 7 points today, had 17 in her first game. She's been quiet in the second half. And a timeout taken by the Danes. Rather, inbound out of bounds. There's a substitution to be made. Lara Longerman makes her way in, the junior from Germany, the only junior on this team. Transferred in from New Mexico, where she played last season, sparingly in the Mountain West, but has seen an increased role here with UAlbany. Foul called on Vicente. They're actually going to charge it to Boreas there. Third personal foul. Boreas really has been everywhere. One of two players on this UAlbany team to be AEC All-Rookie last year. But again, not a lot of returners for the Danes. Cooper spins through the lane and fouled on the way up. Drew, Jasmine Cooper has been very impressive in this fourth quarter.
Wasting no time with the opportunities she's been given. As a player, you can't affect how much the coach puts you in, but when you get a chance, it's what you do with it. And Jasmine Cooper has been just fantastic, spinning all the way to the cup and earns herself a couple of free throws.
Can't knock down the first one, but she has hit a three today. Only 2 3-pointers connected on by Syracuse after the Orange went 1 for 12 from deep last game, 2 for 10 today. So even with 2 wins by wide margins, still something to keep an eye on. Neither from the stripe for Cooper, and UAlbany gets that possession scot-free. To the corner, three-pointer. Hill knocks it down. Her second three today. Delaney Hill works her way into double figures.
UAlbany still playing with a lot of intensity. The full court press easily broken.
Izoje, just a 10-foot jumper that can't fall. Knocked out to Nelson.
She's going to want that one back. And she does get it back. How about this?
Izoje, still no. Out of bounds, last touched by the Orange. Angelica Velez sprang off the bench, hands on her head, and that just shows the intensity that Syracuse is playing with still, despite the big lead. The Orange bench was not happy with an out-of-bounds call. You got 3 minutes left, up 61-37.
Velez was screaming, and head coach Felicia Leggett-Jack kind of just said, yeah, we're all right now. This is not the hill you want to die on, as my mom always likes to say.
Not the hill to die on, indeed. Up top, Vicente. Falcao, one-on-one. Left off for Vicente, straight in at Potts. Can't get the bucket, but gets the foul.
A great find, and Potts gets charged for a foul.
That's the third foul on Maddie Potts.
And not a lot of playing time either. Maddie Potts with just 9 minutes of action. A trio of fouls.
First one's good for Vicente. Next up for the Orange, it's a home matchup with Canisius. The Orange take the court on Tuesday, 7 p.m. tip-off between the Griffins, I believe, of Canisius. Yes, the Griffins of Canisius. The last time the Griffins won that matchup, 2006, so it's been quite some time. Drew, how old were you in 2006?
I was 2 years old.
Wow.
And I remember every bucket. No, I don't, of course.
Yes, every single bucket of that game. The Golden Griffins come to town on Tuesday. We'll have that for you right here on ACC Network Extra. Inbounded, rather, to Izoje. No pressure across the timeline. Shai Hawkins back out onto the court for Syracuse, as well as Justice Fitzgerald. This entire lineup right now for the Cuse, underclassmen. Hawkins is the only sophomore. The rest, freshmen. Boreas with the rebound. Drew, this has been a game where the Orange just have not taken the foot off the pedal.
Even now.
Three-pointer is good. Now Delaney Hill heats up. Her third three.
Starting to turn around her performance, but a little bit too late. You see the talent flash, though, for Delaney Hill down the stretch.
UAlbany quietly up to 42 points. It's now 14 points for Hill, all coming in the fourth quarter. She had 20 last time out. Isoche down low, one-on-one spinning, gets the foul, but can't knock it in off the glass. She'll head to the line for 2.
Falcao gets tacked for the personal, and Isoche's got to be careful there. Was calling for that ball in the paint for right around the 3-second mark, eventually gets it. And when she gets it down low in the restricted area, it's night-night.
Absolutely. Something that you noticed, Drew, earlier today was how high her release is. She's 6'3", a vertical big enough to jump, and yet her release is still very high. It makes it impossible to stop. If she's hitting on her jumper, it doesn't matter how tall you are. You'd have to have a 6'8" forward to block something like that.
Kind of like Kevin Durant in the NBA. You just hope he misses. It's the same way with Isoche Uche.
Exactly. Try to make the shots uncomfortable. That's all you can really do. Lagerman draws it double. It's Stewart. Hill with 14 and a half. Downstairs to Stewart. Knocks off her hands and out of bounds. Just has not been the day for UAlbany, especially when it comes to holding on to the ball. How about 27 turnovers in this one? Compare that to only 42 points as well, Drew. They've made just 16 shots in comparison to those 27 turnovers. And credit that to the Syracuse defense as well. Off the rim, offensive board, Fitzgerald, and she's fouled. Coach Jack is fired up. She called her the best rebounder on this team, Justice Fitzgerald, showing that even against a taller defender in Falcao, it really is just about the heart on that end, and that's why Coach Jack really likes her.
Justice Fitzgerald, it's all about wanting it more, and she's been built for this. All the way back in high school, she had a rare infection in her brain, caused multiple seizures in her early parts of high school. She had to sleep in her parents' room for a few months because of how concerned they were, but she gets through the adversity, and she says she's more prepared for college because of it.
Wow, an incredible story from her, and she's off to a good start in Syracuse. 4 points, 3 rebounds tonight. Had 5 rebounds in her debut against Stony Brook. Under a minute left to go in this one. UAlbany just trying to make it close. Hill fouled on the 3-point shot, so she'll head to the stripe to shoot 3. And boy, it's been a big quarter for her. She has a chance to get up to 17 just in the fourth quarter.
Finds it around the bend at the top of the key and just gets the top of her wrist. She's letting it fly from wherever she wants to right now, feeling it. And it's unfortunate for the Great Danes that this didn't come a little bit earlier, but finally we see Delaney Hill as Hawkins goes and checks with head coach Jack.
Mass substitution for UAlbany to end the game, just to get a few players in who have not been seen yet today. First of 3 falls for Hill. The only player we hadn't seen that's emerged now is Laura Berda from Estepona, Spain. 2 for 2 from the stripe now for Hill.
Head coach Colleen Mullen calls her the coach on the floor. As just a sophomore, so impressive.
She's played 2 years for the Spanish national team, but not much run tonight. Her first game action comes just now. Not much more you could want from Syracuse tonight, Drew. This margin has been whittled down to 17, but for much of the game, it has not felt like that. Margins of 30 plus for most of this one.
And maybe you still look at the 3-point shot, 2 for 10 from behind the arc for the Cuse, but other than that, it's all positives to write home after this one.
Where do the Danes go from here? Isoche on the offensive end.
You got to look at it as a learning moment against a really good Syracuse team, a new look UAlbany squad. They're going to rebound after this. Head coach Colleen Mullen, I'm sure, is going to talk them over, and they'll be right back at it, I'm sure.
Last year, UAlbany came to the JMA Wireless Dome, took on Syracuse, and at the horn, beat the Orange by 3. This year, the Great Danes make the pilgrimage back and lose big. Final horn sounds, and the Orange cruise to victory. 2-0 on the